Another type of E-wrap and yarn over is where you do an E-wrap and yarn over twice. This creates a little bit of a longer V than an E-wrap yarn over one. As you can see here, right here is where the E-wrap yarn over followed by a drop stitch and purl row was completed. Here is where an E-wrap followed by yarn over times 2 followed by a remove purl or remove yarn over and purl remaining stitch, or doing the drop stitch row. So you get a little bit of a longer drop stitch or V created by doing a yarn over 2, and I'll show you how you do that. Again, what you want to do is you want to E-wrap your first pig in the row, and then you're going to do a yarn over twice. So you're E-wrapping once, twice. You now have 3 stitches on your pig. You don't do anything with these stitches. You leave them until the next row. Your second pig, you then E-wrap, and that's the E-wrap stitch, and then you yarn over 1, 2 times. And you don't do anything to that. Again, you do an E-wrap on the next pig, make sure to bring the working yarn over, and then you wrap it once, twice. Move on to your next pig, E-wrap, and wrap 1, 2. That's a yarn over times 2, or yarn, sometimes it's just referred to as a YO2 or a YOX2, or like times 2. So you continue doing that all the way around your loom, or for however many pegs specified for the pattern. It also can be used for flat panel loom knitting as well if you're working back and forth. So you just follow, but that is the E-wrap yarn over 1. I'll show you next how you remove those yarn over loops to create a drop stitch and then purl. Okay, here I'm back at the starting last pig of the row. I've done an E-wrap and yarn over times 2 on each peg, so there's now 3 loops on every single peg of the row. I've already done an E-wrap, or a twisted stockinette stitch, it's also often referred to. On my last pig, I'm going to yarn over twice, and then I'm going to begin my second row, which calls for me to remove the top loops and then purl. You're doing a drop stitch and purl. So you're removing both of these loops that were from the yarn over. As you can see, you have a big V then that's created. And like I mentioned in another video showing the yarn over 1 with the drop stitch, I like to hold my working yarn here so that it doesn't unravel the last peg in the row before. And then you purl that stitch and pull tight. And then I just sort of pull down pretty much after each one I do. So you remove the top loops. I like to just do one at a time. There's 1 stitch remaining, and this is the stitch that you bring your working yarn below, up and through, doing the purl on. And then I just sort of snug my working yarn a little bit. You want to try to keep a consistent tension while you go. If you're going to pull real hard, make sure you pull real hard on each one. I prefer not to pull too hard because it can get harder to work with your stitches. So I like to leave always some slack on my stitches as much as possible. Sometimes I get a little carried away and get too tight. So there again, you're removing both of those top loops that were the yarn over created from the previous row, and you have 1 stitch remaining on your pig, and you're going to purl it. You continue doing this for each pig all the way around. Your last peg, you're going to do the same thing, where you're going to remove the yarn overs, use your working yarn, and purl that peg, and then you'll be able to start the next row in your pattern, or you know, if you're making something up as you go, whatever. The pattern could call for a wide variety of different techniques, but that is how you do the E-wrap yarn over 2, followed by removing the yarn over the top 2 loops and purling the stitches, and that creates the wider V, that wider drop stitch that you see here in this cowl, which I made using Angela Steffen's 1, 2, 3 drops cowl pattern, which you can find on CinDWood Loom site to download. Very easy pattern to follow, fun pattern, fast, has great pictures, and now you can also watch videos to help you as you go along and work your E-wraps. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day.